Well, as I was saying earlier, Mercury's in retrograde, but it's motivating me to act from a place of love, and reminding myself of that. And so it's practice. So it's not the best day ever. Well, actually, it is the best day because I'm alive and I love this experience. So I'm doing well, though. So thank you for asking.
The trick I use when it's retrograde is when I'm trying to get a hold of people and I'm not it's not connecting, and I realize it's the retrograde, and then I say I don't want to talk to them, so I do the opposite, and then boom, everyone the connection happens. So it's
Ah,
just catching that polarity and swapping it.
so it's kind of just letting go, right?
Well, it's the opposite. So I don't want to communicate anyway, and then you get to communicate. It's weird, right? It's weird. That's a whole other discussion. But try it out. But like, if you can't get a hold of someone, like, I just can't connect, then say, I don't want to connect, and then they'll call you. Yeah.
Experiment with that. Yes, that sounds good, man. Thank you for that. So thank you for coming on and having this conversation with me. And what we want to do is just ask you a few questions, get an idea of uh, where you've come from, Robert, and how you came to be to this moment today. And then after that, we'll have a little discussion about what you want to accomplish in life, and then a little bit about Elevation Weekend, and what you might be excited about. Okay, sound good?
Good.
So let's start with just, give us your background. Where were you born, and what was your childhood like, and how'd you get to today?
Oh gosh. How long do we want to take?
Let's say
Um,
30, 45 minutes.
yeah. So you've heard my story, some of it, but I was born in Pennsylvania. Um, didn't really grow up there. Moved to Phoenix, Arizona. I lived there till I was about 12, and then my mother threw a dart at a map to meet her soulmate, and landed on Redding, California. And from the time I was 12 until about the time I was 15 or 16, I lived in all the western states. So she was definitely a gypsy type, and I was always the new kid. Everywhere I went, I was always the new kid. So um, by the time I got into high school, I really learned how to meet people and how to meet the right people. So it's not about quantity, but the quality of people that you're meeting. And gosh, fast forward a few years, and I got into real estate. I was working in the trades and working really hard. I was working probably 50-hour weeks and making a couple $1,000s a month painting. And saw a guy that was I was painting a gas station. He pulled up in his Lexus to get gas, and I knew there was a different way. Like in that moment, the difference between him and I, and I knew I wanted to know what that difference was. And so spent a few years in real estate, made a lot of money. By the time I was 20, I was flipping a house every month, and it was tall, tall cotton. Like it was just amazing, brother. I mean, I didn't know what I had, and then the market, there was some changes in the market, and we got scared of how it would affect our business and our ability to flip houses because we used a really specific niche to buy property. And so, pow, in about 3 months' time, I was completely bankrupt and spent 2 or 3 years wondering what I did to God or the universe to deserve the life that I had. And I was applying all the recipes, but none of them worked. How to buy a house, none of them worked. And so I found Think and Grow Rich and realized that the missing ingredient I was looking for was the mind. And so by 2006, I was I co-founded the largest financial literacy group in the state of Utah, and we were teaching people how to create more wealth, and we were using things like NLP and hypnosis to help affect change in the mind. And it was just a fantastic time. I found my passion, which is helping people unfold and evolve in that space. When I got into real estate, I knew it wasn't my passion, but I just knew I didn't want to be a starving student or working in the freezing cold anymore. So that's when I found my passion. But I also found the curiosity, a burning curiosity for what is beyond core states of being, like okayness and connectedness and oneness, and that led me to shut down the whole business and spend a year in meditation, seeking out what's beyond that core state. What is God? What is the universe? What is Source? And what's that all about? So fast forward a handful of businesses, serial entrepreneur. I ended up now as a momentum consultant, where I help companies that are of a humanitarian nature get explosive momentum, velocity to get where they want to go. And now I'm re-engaging with this evolution, the idea of engaging people one-on-one again in some fashion, whether it be platform or one-on-one, to help unfold souls. So it's the call that I accepted, and which led to this this dialogue that we're having. How's that?
Yeah, that was awesome. Everything coming full circle, right, to this moment.
Yeah.
And you put it so beautifully. So much alignment, and it's just funny how we came connected, and I'm excited for what's to come in the relationship, and what we unfold together, as a team. Um, so in unfolding souls, what's next for you? Like, what do you want to accomplish ultimately before you cross to the other side, or whatever happens to us after we?
Well, that's an interesting question, and I don't know that I have the answer. My efforts before, I think we were about 400 or 500 strong with our group, and I had considered then, what it would look like to run in a circuit, or how did I want to pursue that that passion. And in a moment of that contemplation, one of my students texted me, a master is not defined by the number of students he keeps, but by the number of masters he creates. And so whether it's one or a million people, I mean, authentically, I think that it's really about helping people to become empowered, giving them the tools to light their own path, to support them, when they've fallen, and being that I've navigated some of those, those life's horrors, right, the dark nights of the soul. I understand, people's pain, and how to give them a lifeline, out of where they're living. So I don't know what the fine answer is. Mine is just holding a picture of that work, and then letting it happen around me.
So you mentioned that you're recently kind of getting back into the one-on-one and doing this type of work. What inspired you to get back into it?
It really wasn't inspired as much as it started happening again. So as I go through the day, people just show up in my space, looking for help, and calling out and asking for it. So I'm not really flying a flag. Well, apparently I am, but I wasn't consciously flying a flag that says, "Hey, let me help you with that." And so that got my attention, and it's like, okay, I get it. I get the nudge to re-engage this. So that's that. I guess that would be the inspiration. It's just it's happening.
And as it's happening, is it something that you find yourself maybe resisting at all, or just flowing with it and just allowing it to come?
Yeah, I've resisted it in the past, just depending on where I'm at in the world, because I'm human too, right? So I'm navigating the experience. But where I'm residing now, I'm very one with it. I know that the people that show up in front of me are people that I can help. You know, I'm not showing up in front of people that aren't a fit for me, right? It's divine,
All by design, right?
all by design.
So we got Elevation Weekend coming up at the end of this month, and the core focus of the weekend is to enhance the impact that leaders are making in the world. And to me, it's really obvious to see that you're one of those individuals that has been making an impact and a ripple out into the universe, a really positive one, with the love that you have in your heart and the talent that you've been given and the gifts you've been given. So my question to you is, what draws you to this weekend, and what excites you about it, maybe?
Hmm. Um, there's an electricity about this. Um, it's like um, it's like a quiet hum. Um, I'm trying to think of a metaphor. It's like when something really big starts to move. Um,
Mm,
Kind of like a jet engine, when you hop on a plane, and they turn that sucker on, and it's just kind of just even more subtle than that before it starts to be this raging engine. Um, I feel that electricity about this, and yeah, brother, I know what you're about, and I don't have all the clarity about what we're doing, but I like that. That's part of how I create my life is to have wonder, awe and wonder. I love the awe and wonder of my days, and so uh, I knew that I had to be there when we talked the other day, and then again at dinner, and it feels like it feels like um, it feels like the movie. It feels like some kind of movie that's being written. Some story that'll be told.
wow, that's heavy, man, in a really, really good way. How you just shared that and expressed that. I feel that same energy, which is why it feels, that's heavy what you just said to me.
Yeah,
And I'm really honored to have you be there with us to help unfold this potential that we see is so possible for all of us. And it seems really fun and exciting, and lots of love will be a part of that journey. And again, I'm just really excited to have that experience with you.
thank you. Electricity. Yeah.
The electricity, let that jet engine hum.
There's a better metaphor, but it's kind of like even like the generators in a dam. I think like if when the water starts to trickle through, they start to open the valve and they start to hum, and then this is raging, all this force that's channeled, being channeled through.
That's why it requires people that can hold that energy, hold that space, to allow that energy to come through and do exactly what, we hope for it to do, in creating that world, that we all see. So super exciting, man. Really, really exciting and fun. It's such a fun process. So Robert, thank you so much, man, for taking the time to come on and have this conversation with me. Uh, Again, I'm really excited to have you and to experience you for Elevation Weekend. And you have any last things to say or share or before we sign off?
Just I guess just gratitude, man, for putting it together and listening to your own guidance and I think that your role is, there's a lot of vision, that has to happen, and that vision requires a lot of trust, right? Uh, so yeah, just gratitude for your effort and focus.
Uh, Thank you for acknowledging that, Robert. That feels really good and really inspires and motivates me to create an experience that is just amazing for everyone that's involved, of course, including yourself. So
Beautiful.
amazing. Thank you so much, Robert. Have a wonderful day, and we're going to be talking really, really soon, all right?
All right, brother. Cheers.